Hey y'all, my husband makes the best brisket. It is juicy, it is tender, and it takes 14 hours to cook, but I'm telling you it's worth it. So we purchased this brisket flat from Sam's. You can do a regular brisket. This is kind of optional, but we like to trim the fat off and then place it in an aluminum pan, and you will put that under the brisket while you smoke it so that all of the fat and stuff that drips will drip into the pan and you can reuse it throughout the process. And you want to pay attention to which way the grain is going, and you want to score it the opposite way so that you will know how to cut it. We're using Baron Burton's W sauce as a binder. You're just going to coat one side at a time and then apply your dry seasoning. This will help it stick. You can also use mustard if you like, but this was our first time using the W sauce and we really liked it. We're using Killer Hogs seasoning and then Gospel seasoning as well. Find what works for you, but this was really good. So if you want to purchase these from the store, I can tell you both of these taste great together. Once you get done seasoning the sides, flip it over, do it all over again. A very important step is you do want to spray this with beef broth every 3 hours. This is going to keep your meat from drying out. And once it reaches an internal temp of 160, it's time to take it out and wrap it in some butcher paper. Now, when you wrap it in the butcher paper, it helps it to keep its moisture even more. We did use some of the fat that dripped into the trimmings pan, and the trimmings created some fat as well. Put that on top of the brisket and then wrapped it up. Now you're going to put it back on the smoker and let it get to 205 degrees internal temperature, and then it is ready to rest at that point. Now what resting does, it helps it to kind of cool off but also hold in all the moisture. We like to let ours rest in a cooler. You can also use it in your oven, but it's kind of messy. So we just stick it in a small cooler and keep it in there for a minimum of 2 hours. Keep the lid shut, forget about it. Come back in 2 hours. Now you can slice brisket, you can dice it. If you have a meat slicer that gets it super thin, that's even better. But we just used a knife to cut ours up. You can eat brisket by itself. Makes great sandwiches. Put it on a baked potato. It takes long enough to cook, so trust me, you're gonna wanna eat every bit of it. Now because my husband scored it, he knew exactly where and which direction to cut it. And this was so delicious. It was tender. He even did some kind of test on it. If you pick up a piece of brisket and it's floppy, that's great. And then if it pulls apart super easily, then you know you have a tender brisket. And this passed both of those tests. But look at how juicy this was. Y'all, if you try this, let me know what you think.